Hi, I'm Alice. There's something special about an old photograph found in a dusty drawer or slotted into the back of a novel someone else has thumbed over the pages of 1,000 times. Today, it is an entirely different story. And this is mine. There are over 2,000 photos of me on Facebook, 1,179 that I've been tagged in, and a good few hundred more that I have not. But what can words and photos, posted in a spontaneous moment of happiness or on a dark day, really say about me? I joined Facebook in 2006, and apparently this was the first photo I ever uploaded. But 2010 seems like a more appropriate place to start, a time that seems so different from today. I was a student at Sheffield Uni, and my best friend Rita was only a doorstep away. One evening, as I sat on the sofa watching Hollyoaks in my fleecy pyjamas, Ricky, my boyfriend of 4 years, walked into the living room, got down on one knee, produced a stunning diamond ring, and said, "Alice, will you marry me?" Later that year, I graduated from Sheffield Uni with a first in journalism. At that moment, I remember feeling excited and a little nervous about what lay ahead. Nine days after graduation, a documentary I made about finding my biological dad was on the telly. I've got just a niggling thing in my tummy every time I watched a film and there's like a dad and a daughter, and I think, where's my dad? Like, why haven't I got that? I dipped my toe into the world of TV, and I knew it was time to leave my beloved Sheffield for the bright lights of London town. Ricky and I packed our bags and headed south. I was excited, but also terrified. I was leaving the place I had always called home for a place where I hoped to create one. I began to document all the strange and beautiful things I came across. It was pretty scary leaving my friends and family at first, but I threw myself wholeheartedly into my new life with Ricky. Suddenly, I was being stimulated from every angle. Every single day, my world got bigger, and I felt myself shifting and changing to adapt. Ricky, 15 years my senior, didn't always want to go to the party or hang out with my new mates. When he didn't want to go, I went anyway. It may sound harsh, but I really missed my friends in Sheffield, and I didn't want to miss out on forming new friendships in London. Besides, dressing up as a gypsy bride in a wedding dress covered in fairy lights and strutting around Soho with drag queens and fashion students was really fun, even without him. In February 2011, Ricky and I decided to leave London life behind for a little while and headed to South Africa. Watching the sunset on Tabletop Mountain and cuddling a baby lion cub was definitely as far away from fast-paced London as you can get. But pictures and words don't tell the whole story. I was standing on the rooftop of our beautiful hotel in South Africa, thinking about a change I needed to make, whilst crying my eyes out on the phone to my mum. "Are you sure, darling?" my mum said. Back in London, I agonised about choosing the right words. The day I decided to tell him, I asked if he'd be home that evening. "You're not going to break up with me, are you?" he half joked. Walking away from my ex was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Not least because I loved him, but because I knew he loved me. I realise now, back then I was afraid of never knowing my independence, of never knowing myself. I guess that's why I felt I had to go it alone. I had to experience things by myself for myself. In this huge city, I walk fast to get where I am going. I watch the pavement to make sure I don't trip and fall. I miss the striking feats of man standing tall. Sometimes I don't see you. I miss your face and all the beauty that lives there. Bodies rushing past, going where? It can be dark, it can be lonely, it can be tough, but it can be wonderful, it can be new, and it can be mine. Do the things you love, and do them often, for life is short and only what we make it. And so I did. Seeing this now, that painful decision put me on a path that I'm still on today. I searched for a room of my own, a little space in the world that was just mine. I formed the kind of bonds you can only form with friends you've lived with, and I started to develop my independence. With bravery and determination came a little bit of luck. But I couldn't escape a ticklish feeling in my gut, a tickle that became an itch I needed to scratch. I was attracted to women. I am attracted to women. Everything was changing, fast. And sometimes it felt as though I was on the outside looking in. Luckily, I still had Rita to remind me who I was and keep me grounded. I looked forward to her London visits. I remember waiting at St Pancras. I couldn't wait to give her a cuddle and tell her about all the new adventures I was having. It was then we got friendship piercings together, and I shaved off half my hair. I needed a sign. I was part of the lesbian community now, and I wanted the girls to know. Soon, life was moving pretty fast. We have scanned the musical horizon to bring you only the best in new music. Exclusive content on a wide variety of topics, and I'm expecting big things, so let's see what's going on. Looking at this now, life was a whirlwind, a perfect opportunity for me to explore my sexuality in a new way. Not that I shared everything about my new life on social media. Maybe it was then I should have slowed down, but I was on a roll. Almost a year later, I spent Easter on a Welsh mountain with Rita. It was a goodbye holiday, as Rita was no longer going to be only a train ride away. She was about to set off backpacking around South America, and I knew I wouldn't see her for at least 6 months. And so, I got back on board the London roller coaster. Have you ever tried to imagine the worst thing that could happen to you, and if you'd get through it? When Rita died, I couldn't bear to look at photos of her. But now, photos, memories, and stories are all I have, and I'm grateful every time I discover a new one. I still write Facebook messages to Rita and post things that make me think of her. Even though she never writes back, it comforts me to still be able to communicate with her in this way. Every time I feel scared or nervous, and before every new venture I embark on, I think of Rita. She made me realise that it is better to risk everything and live fully than risk nothing and not live at all. 6 months after Rita died, I took a lone trip to Thailand to learn to dive. Admittedly, I was terrified, but I thought about Rita bravely embarking on her adventure around South America, and off I went. Back in London, it was my time to live without fear. There were still some bad times. And some good ones too. I got published on Huffington Post. And even ended up on BuzzFeed. And I guess that brings us to today. There's something special about an old photograph, found in a dusty drawer or slotted into the back of a novel someone else has thumbed over the pages of 1,000 times. Whether or not you know this person, their picture tells a story. Their black and white soul stares into the lens openly, the lines of their face timely and intriguing, a testament to who they are and what they are doing at that exact moment in time. When I'm old, I won't have to worry about being able to remember days gone by. When I'm gone, photos online and half-forgotten blogs will be there for someone to find. When I die, my online presence lives on. Is that why we do this? To say, look, I was here, I existed, I lived and it was worth it. It was worth the pain and hurt and disappointments because I was here. This was me.